Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. You're in Birdland. Welcome to Hawk County. I'm your host, Cedric Jenkins. You're watching Jammin with Jenks. We have here today the head coach of our men's basketball team, Mr. Bobby Collins. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Jenks. How you doing?
Everything's going well.
All right,
Thank you for asking.
thank you.
You've been very successful at your stops at Hampton University and at Winston-Salem. Glad to have you here, a part of the UMES family. Please tell our audience why UMES? What intrigued you about this opportunity here?
Well, UMES has a very unique situation. I was very just intrigued when I came here as a coach. When I was coaching at Hampton and coaching at Winston-Salem State, I came here. I saw the facilities, I saw the support, the fans, and the student body. And I know it's in the rural area, but the students they came out and supported. I thought the facilities were second to none. I just thought that it would be a great place to win. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I said, why not Maryland Eastern Shore?
All right. Now, being at your previous stops, what do you attribute to having your success at those programs?
Well, I'm a strong believer, first of all. I'm a very, very strong believer. I'm very religious. I have strong beliefs, and I contribute that to my mother and father, who instilled some strong values in my life, and I definitely give them the glory and praise for um, helping me become the man that I become today. The things that I try to instill in my young men, I want to make a difference in their lives, opposed to just as a basketball player. So when they go away and they come back and said, Coach Collins, I remember something you said or something you did that helped me become a better person or a better man. That's why I do this. That's what's exciting to me, and that's my pay when those young men go away and come back and say that I made a difference in their life.
And talking about your players, the play this program here that you had this season, have they been receptive into buying into your philosophy? Has it been challenging to you?
Well, it's been very challenging. I asked those young men to do two things for me when I first took this job, and that's trust and believe. Trust and believe. Trust in the process, believe in what I'm telling you because I've been there. I've experienced it. So if you trust and believe me and give me a chance, that success is going to follow. And, it's a process, and we chose the motto this year, win today.
Okay.
We chose that motto not just saying that we want to win on the basketball court today, but we want to win in life today. When we wake up in the morning, if there's a choice between going to class or going back to bed,
Mm-hmm.
we want you to win that little battle, go to class. And that's our purpose of win today. And hopefully that they can take that and become a better person. I also asked them to take this challenge, go around campus and try to hear how many times can you hear thank you? And if you do that, then that's going to help you become a better person for the day. And hopefully they just carry that on and just not for that particular moment.
Oh, that's very good, Coach Collins. Really appreciate you sharing that information with us.
Thank you.
Coming on board this year, you've established a great coaching staff. I believe that's my opinion. Talk a little bit about them, if you will.
Well, my first hire was Ace Custis. Ace Custis called me as soon as I got the job because he's from the area. Ace Custis played at Virginia Tech. He's from the Virginia area of the Eastern Shore. I've known him as a player. I recruited him as a player. I've known him for a while. I've known him through his NBA career and through his time that he was overseas. So I've just known him. I've known him when he worked with a previous guy that worked with me, Lonnie Blow, who was the head coach at St. Augustine's, who's now the head coach at Virginia State.
Okay.
That's where Ace Custis got his first coaching position with Coach Blow. So I knew he was familiar with my system because Coach Blow worked for me. And because he was from the area, because I knew he had a bright future in this business, he was my first hire. My next hire was Clifford. Cliff Reed is a very good friend of mine. I've known him since 95, 96. He was the head coach at Bethune-Cookman. We both started out as assistants first.
Okay.
He was an assistant at Bethune-Cookman. I was an assistant at Hampton University. We both competed as far as players and just making sure our teams were successful. And he became a head coach first. Then I became a head coach, and we just followed each other's careers, and we always communicated and talked and bounced things off one another.
Okay.
And he was out of the business, so of course he was my next call as far as bringing on into my staff. Trevor DeLoach is a very young and up and coming coach who has a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge of this game. He has a recruiting uh, just guru. He loves to recruit,
Okay.
and that's going to be his claim to fame for this program, recruiting and getting out and finding us players.
That's the main important thing I believe is, you can't have a successful program if you don't have successful players.
Absolutely. That's the lifeline to this business.
Exactly. Coach, and talking about, the staff and the team and things like that, has your philosophy changed at all being here at Merlin Eastern Shore when you came through the door, sitting with your coaching staff? Did you have to tweak some things as far as your coaching philosophy or things that you wanted to run?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've changed some things, but I kept the core things and the core values of what has made my program successful. I believe that you have to be able to execute half court in March and April
Okay.
in order to win those championship games. I know a lot of teams press and run and gun and shoot fast, but when it really comes down to executing half court sets, when it really comes down to getting defensive stops, those are the teams that advance in March and April. For me, at least, has been my claim to fame because I think it's five. I won 5 championships. I've been in 8 championship games.
Okay.
I've been in 8 championship games in my 12 years of coaching. That I've been able to compete for championships. So I think that says something, and so I've stayed with that part.
Okay.
But I don't have an ego.
Okay.
Bringing in Coach Reed and bringing in Coach Custard and Coach DeLoach, I listen to some of the things that they have, and I implement that, and hopefully it makes my program better. You are watching Jammin with Jenks at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
What made you want to be a coach? How did you catch the coaching bug?
To be honest with you, I really never wanted to be a coach.
Really? Okay.
It wasn't what I set out to do. I got my degree in business administration, emphasis in management. I was the captain of my college basketball team for 4 years.
Okay.
My freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, I was the captain. And my coach used to put a lot of responsibility on me.
Okay.
And he told me one day, he said, boy, you'll be a good coach one day. I said, no, sir. You think I want 18, 19-year-olds dictating my future in my life? No way. And, hey, I spoke the word. Here I am as a coach. And I got into coaching, Jeff Capel, who was my high school basketball coach, who obviously a lot of people know his sons, Jeff and Jason, who played at Duke in Carolina, was my high school basketball coach. He had gotten the head coaching job at Old Dominion University. And he called me and asked me, was I interested in getting into coaching? I was an admissions counselor. And I said, wow, of course. So I left a job making over $30,000 a year to go make $12,000 a year as a restricted earnings at Old Dominion. I took that risk, and I just blew up from there. We had success, went to the final 32. I met Coach Samuels, who was the head coach at Hampton, on the golf course. He said, hey, man, I like the way you carry yourself. I like your personality. I like you come work for me. So within 1 year, I was back making over $30,000 again as his second assistant. In 3 years, I was the first assistant. In 3 more years, I was the head coach at Hampton University.
All right.
That's how things happen for me so quickly.
It's a very blessed situation.
Very fortunate. Very fortunate.
Wow, that's great. So talk about all the people that you mentioned. Who would you consider to be your biggest role models then?
Well, I've taken something from all the coaches that I've coached under and coached for. Jeff Capel was a great inspirator. He could inspire you. He could motivate you to go out and believe that you could win. Coach Samuels was very structured, very organized. And Coach Murphy was a great X and O coach. So I took all those things and put it with who I am as a person. And here I am. The success I've had at Winston-Salem State, the success I've had at Hampton University, and the success that we're going to have here at Maryland Eastern Shore, I believe it has the right ingredients to be successful.
And I'm sure working for all those different individuals was very competitive. Different minds, different great minds coming together, things like that. Some information I've learned about you, Coach, is that you come from a very large family. You have a lot of siblings. I'm sure it was very competitive with your siblings. Talk about some of the competitiveness you've had with your family.
Well, there wasn't much competition going on. I always got beat up. Even though I was the youngest of 10, it was tough. It was real tough. I always got last because I wasn't always an athlete. I didn't start playing high school basketball. I didn't start playing basketball until I was in the 12th grade.
Okay.
So, I didn't get the publicity. I wasn't the most popular person until the 12th grade. I went from having no girlfriend to the homecoming queen. So I've learned to appreciate the smaller things in life.
Okay. Um, who did you take after? Is there anybody like as far as what made you get into basketball, into sports at such a late date?
Wow, I was in the gym one day and I didn't know what I had, and I tell the story all the time when I talk to basketball camps. And I was in the gym one day, and I had on some, I call them church shoes, hard
Okay.
bottom shoes.
Okay.
And I was in the gym, and I went up and I dunked a tennis ball, boom. And everybody said, "Wow, we were in PE." And I said, well, "Can you dunk a volleyball?" So I took the volleyball and I dunked the volleyball. And this guy came over to me and said, "Hey man, try these shoes on right here
Mm-hmm.
and see if you can dunk this basketball."
Mm-hmm.
So I put on his sneakers, which felt really good on my feet.
Okay.
And I went up and I dunked the basketball with two hands. Boom.
Okay.
And when I dunked it with two hands, Coach Caper walked out the gym and said, "Who's that kid?" They said, "Oh, that's Bobby Collins. He's nobody, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Hey, son, come here." He said, "Can you do that again?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "I can do that dunk that Isaiah Thomas did last night where he took the ball, threw it under his arm, caught it, but he laid it up."
I remember that.
I said, "I can throw it under my arms, catch it, and dunk it." He said, "Let me see it." Boom, 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 and dunked it. And he said, "Man, I want you to play ball for me this year."
Okay.
And I did it easily, not knowing that I was an athlete.
Okay.
Um, the first organized basketball game I went to was the first one I played in.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't start because I was so nervous and I was so scared. I didn't know what to expect. The gym was packed. I was so nervous. They passed the ball to my guy. I shot the gap, stole it, and I went down and I boom, and I dunked it hard, and I blew up ever since.
Okay.
That was the start of Bobby Collins, I guess.
Okay. And there's a lot of success stories like that of individuals who not playing the game until later in life. One that comes to mind is Akeem Olajuwon, who I remember telling the story of he didn't play until his high school days. And then of course, we know where Akeem ended up. So
Right.
I know you'll end up in the Hall of Fame as a coach.
That'll be a blessing.
Hey, so knowing a little bit more about your family and everything, going in that direction, talk to us a little bit about your son BJ. How has that he changed your life?
Well, he's everything. I mean, he's everything to me. He's a ball of energy. He's my why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the question that I ask each one of my players. What is your why? What's your purpose? What's your drive? What makes you go when you feel like quitting? What is your determining factor when all else fail and you feel like there's no tomorrow? What make you want to wake up and say, "I gotta go anyway"?
Mm-hmm.
He's my why, and that's the reason why I work so hard. That's why I'm so driven. I've always been that way, but now you got it times 10.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out.
I understand what you mean with my children. I'm the same way. They're
Right.
my why. I understand exactly what you mean, Coach Collins. Oh, one more question for you. Is there one thing that you want the national audience to know about your team that they don't already know about?
Well, this team is yet to reach its full potential. Well, we're a long ways from that. I talk about every day how this is a process, and a process it takes time. And it seemed like after every loss, my coach have also still have to remind me, "Coach, you got Michael Myers, who we riding, who haven't played in 2 years. We got Dominique Elliott, who haven't played in a while. You got Devin Walker, who didn't play a lot last year. You got Isaac Smith, who didn't play a lot. So we got a lot of guys that are new, that are in new roles, and we're expecting those guys to go out and just bam, do it right now. Yes, I'm going to keep demanding it and I'm going to keep commanding it, but also at the end of the day, got to remember that it's a process. We're trying to build a winning process, not just a process. It's a difference. We're not trying to build a process to just be competitive. We want to build a process to be champions, and that's what I want you to know about my team.
Right. Thank you, Coach Collins, for spending some time with us this afternoon. Really, really appreciate it and allowing the audience to get to know you a little bit better. Um, I know they'll come out and support our program and be behind you 100% here on the shore.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for time spent with us at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I'm your host, Cedric Jenkins, on behalf of Doug Newton and Tyler Smith. Please join us again next time. We'll have another special guest for you. And remember, calm sea doesn't make a skilled sailor. Thank you very much. See you soon.